All right, cool. Thanks, everyone. We'll kick off there. I think we've slowed down with the attendees. Anyone else can just join in later. So thank you very much for joining our webinar today, which is on attracting and retaining talent in the workplace, which is a challenge that a lot of businesses are facing in New Zealand at the moment. So you'll notice as well that on our page today, we have changed to the Boost Business Champions logo. And that's just because we're changing our branding over at the moment. So we are moving from Greg Verhoef Chartered Accountant to Boost Business Champion. So that's a fun change that's happening for us at the moment. So my name's Shana. I'm the moderator for the webinar today. So I'll just make sure that everything runs smoothly in the background here. Hopefully you won't see or hear from me. And if you do, then things might be going wrong. But as always, we've just got the Zoom features down the bottom there. If you have any questions throughout the webinar at all, just chuck it down the bottom in the Q&A and we will answer them at the end. So if you think of anything as we go along, or if you want us to elaborate on anything, just fire it down in the Q&A and we can we'll get to it at the end. And you've also got your audio settings, and you can leave the meeting down the bottom there as well if you need to through the meeting. So our panelist today, our presenter is Greg Verhoef from Boost Business Champions. He's our primary here, and he's had a lot of years experience in business and working with small local businesses. So I will hand it over to you, Greg.
Thank you, Shana. So welcome to our webinar. As Shana mentioned, I've been working mainly with SME, small medium enterprises. Have been doing that for most of my 25 plus years as a chartered accountant. We set up our own practice about 5 years ago, and initially it was just me, so hence the Greg Verhoef name. And being that I have a bit of a team behind me now, we thought it's time to actually develop that name out into being something a bit more reflective of what we're trying to do with our clients. So hence the Boost name. Right at the moment, finding staff seems to be the #1 issue for across the whole range of businesses out there. I've got 100 plus clients on my list, and I'm talking to my clients every day. There's a number of phone calls, emails, discussions, and the #1 thing that keeps coming up over and over again is I can't find staff, or I've lost staff, I can't retain them, I can't find them, I've got all this work, I can't get it done. It's a very common thing. So when this opportunity came up to present this webinar, I thought, well, this fits in quite well with the questions I'm getting from my clients. So I'm hoping a lot of other people are getting the same sort of questions. So anyway, let's have a bit of discussion about some of the things we can do. So thought for the day, Tim Ferriss, focus on being productive instead of being busy. We walk down the street and we see someone we know, quite often we go, "Are you busy?" And it's that sort of old adage, isn't it? We always talk about being busy. But anyone in business, knows being busy is not the key point. You really want to be as productive as you can. So we all know that being productive is the more important aspect of running a business. However, it's just ingrained in our day-to-day psyche that being busy must be important. But being busy can contribute to burnout, stress, having to rework stuff, do extra, redo things. Busy is not the end all of the world. It's about productivity. It's about getting the jobs out the door. It's about getting the time that's been put on the jobs changed out and recovered. So we keep that in mind when we're talking about our employees. Sometimes making them busy is not the best thing. We want to make them productive. And sometimes being productive means actually just taking a step back a bit and thinking about the environment that we create for them to work within. So our agenda today, we're going to have a bit of a look at defining your why, and you might have seen this in some of our other webinars we've done, but it's a really good starting point for this webinar today too. We'll carry on through 4 disciplines of a healthy business, 5 things that people are looking for, and then we sort of break them down a bit. Then we look at sort of how we can help individuals thrive, things you can help individually with people, and then their happiness is our success, and we have some questions and answers at the end. Yes, if anyone's got any questions, jot them down in the question box. We'll answer them at the end. Yeah, do it that way rather than break the webinar. We'll try and keep the webinar nice and to the time so that everyone here is gone with inside their 40-45 minutes. Okay, so defining your why, or the golden circle. So often we're in business, we're really good at describing our what. You know, we're good at telling people what we do, but it's not really where we should be starting. All right. Tell people what, we tell people how we do it, and often we fail to talk about why we're doing stuff. And it's that clarity as to the why, which is the really important bit. And we should sort of turn this on its head. And we should start from the inside out and focus on our why. And particularly when we're dealing with our customers, we should be explaining to our customers why we're providing the service for them. And then lead on to how we're going to do it and what the processes and results are of doing that. And why is this important to our employees? Because it's the same when we're talking to our employees. We need that why that engages our employees in the business. It's the motivation, it's the dreams, it's the goals, it's the why are we here? What are we trying to achieve? What gets me up in the morning to come to work and do what I do? The what, you know, the systems and the processes, the how, the procedures and things, they don't really matter. It's the why is the key to our business. And that why is we need to be able to explain that in our core purpose. And our core purpose should be 5 to 7 words that defines why we exist for our customers. It should be clear and it should be easy to understand and it should be easy for our team to understand so that everything is aligned. Our team aligns with our dreams for our business and our customers that we're attracting are aligning with the products or services that we're providing for. When you can articulate your purpose and you can talk about it in a brief 7-word, explaining it briefly in 7 words, then that helps to get that message across. Okay. This was created by Simon Schnick, and it comes to me from the Gap. These are the guys I've subscribed to for some information, and they're the ones who have helped with this presentation too. Right, 4 disciplines of a healthy business. So let's get a little bit deeper into what we do with our why to ensure that the team understand and are united behind the purpose of our business. This is another mindset that's called the 4 disciplines of a healthy business. The first step towards achieving organisational health is to develop a cohesive leadership team. All right, that's this bit over here. This means a leadership team that is built on trust, mastering tactical conflict resolution, is committed and embrace the accountability, has a focus on results, and has a true clarity as to the why of the business. And we do that through creating clarity. And in our clarity, we define our clarity by explaining why our business exists. So that's the bit we've just been talked about in that previous slide, the golden circle. How our business behaves, so our culture, our core values. And core values is something you need to spend a bit of time sitting down and teasing out of your business as to what your core values are. It's the behaviors you expect, it's the way you operate, it's the values and your beliefs about how your business should operate. What your business does, how your business will succeed. So this is your business plan. You know, having a written business plan that you are reviewing on a frequent basis as to what you plan to do with your business and how it will succeed is part of creating that clarity for your team so they understand that you have a plan that they can get on board with. And what is important right now, so this is about creating 90-day actions, things that can be done over the next 90 days, who's going to do them, who must do them, who's going to do them, and when are they going to be done by, And then once they're done, reordering those goals again to achieve what's the next 90-day plans. These elements all together help create clarity in your business. They help your team to better understand the game plan, and they provide guidelines to uplifting that workplace culture, ensuring that every team member is on board and that they help execute the plan. Oh, jump on ahead too quick. Right, so creating clarity. The third point there is to over communicate clarity. It's easy just to go, this is our business plan, this is what we're going to do, this is why, bang it out there, and then get on with the job and forget about it. But people don't pick up things the first time they hear it. Sometimes they need to hear it, they need to read it, they need to see it, they need to hear it again, they need to talk about it with their workmates, they need to understand. It needs to be, really well communicated in the business so that everybody understands what's going on. Over communicate. And then point 4 there was clarity. Reinforce the clarity, reinforce what you've talked about in number 2. And that's also done through your actions as the leader of the business, as the management team, to make sure that you are acting with inside your own whys and where you want to go, and the core values that you expect your staff to adhere to, that you're also doing those same things. Okay. So that's our 4 disciplines. We're now going to move on to what people are looking for. So workplace culture, strategy, core purpose, and brand lays the foundation. So the last couple of slides, we've talked about our core purpose and laying sort of foundations for how we want our business to operate. So, but what is a great workplace culture? That's the environment that we create for our people to work in. And there's a saying out there that culture will eat strategy for breakfast. When people are happy and engaged, they are at their most productive. So there are 5 key things that we can look through in the next few slides that will help you to work on that workplace culture. And they are flexible workplace conditions, diversity, equality and inclusion, prioritization of mental health and balance, technology as an enabler, creating a great workplace vibe. Okay, so flexible workplace conditions. Right. So the thing is, everyone has a different perspective of what a great workplace is. And it's a matter of trying to tease out from each of your individual staff what they see as being a great workplace. So it's not that you can adopt one set of rules and that's going to be fine for everyone. So everyone has different families, some have backgrounds, some have traveled different places, travel times are different, they've got different commitments on their life, and it's no one, it's not a cookie cutter thing, it's no one fits all type mold. So you need to engage with your staff, talk to them, ask lots of questions, listen to their answers, and take on board what they're saying. Help that, to understand how they look at their workplace, and that what you can do with their workplace, their work environment, that's going to make things flexible for them. So some ideas here on this slide here. Excuse me. Offering different start and end times. There are some times where you do need everyone to be together, but that time of the day is probably not all day. You can probably arrange that, people have things they can do in their own time. So some people can start at earlier times, and some people might finish earlier, or start later in the day and end later in the day. Just, offering that flexibility, as long as the job gets done and we're meeting our why with our clients, it really doesn't matter sometimes when the staff are there. Different if you're running a production line. but then there may be still bits within that where you can have, split rosters or split shifts, so people come in and do half shifts and others come and do the other half of the day. Be flexible about how you work rosters and how you work your staff so that it's easier for them. All right, we're trying to make it easy for people to come and work for us. We want to come and work for us and not our competitors. So the easier and more flexible we can be, and the easier it is for our staff to fit in with us, then they're more likely to come and work. Fewer hours. So this sort of harks back to the fact that we're most productive for the 3 to 4 hours a day, and the rest of the day is where we're doing those mundane jobs and we just having to do stuff. And that sometimes, if you work less, you can actually get just as much achieved, or you are more productive in those lesser hours than you are by doing an 8-hour day. It also means if you're working less, you're less likely to have burnout, and therefore you have less of those ramifications of someone who does fall off the edge of the cliff, finally burns out and falls over, if you stop them getting to that point. Offering study or extra leave for study shows a demonstration that you're committed to growing your staff skills. They feel empowered that you want to see them grow, and your business benefits from them and getting better upskilled at their jobs. So yeah, so flexibility. So different hours, starting ending times, split shifts, different working days for the week, ability to work from home sometimes maybe, all those sorts of things. Benefits of being flexible. So I've got some numbers here in front of me. I don't know where it comes from, but there was a global survey about flexible working, suggested that you could get up to an 80% improvement in productivity. So I guess if they're saying we're only productive for 4 hours a day, and if you're flexible, you might increase that to 6 or 7 hours a day of productivity time. Improved employee morale. Employees who buying into the workplace and enjoying the workplace will produce a better quality of work. They enjoy doing it, so they'll do better. Enhanced reputation. Family-friendly workplaces will help attract better people. Improved employee well-being. So if we look after our employees, they'll have less time, less downtime. They tend to be sick less. They tend to want to come to work. They tend to find, the ones who don't want to come work will find more excuses not to come to work because they're ill, because their partner's not well, their child's not well, or something else like that. Whereas if people have a want to come and be involved in our workplace, then we benefit from that. And increased employee retention. Well, we all know the cost of losing someone creates a big hole in our business. We then have to go through and recruit someone else. There's a direct cost in marketing for that person, and then there's the time taken to screen through applicants, do interviews, create an employment contract, and provide the job opportunity. And then going through the induction process and the training and everything else. There's a huge amount of time in bringing someone else on board to our teams. So if we can retain staff, there's huge benefits from doing that. And employment benefits. So we've all done a lot of us have done the work from home thing, I suppose, with COVID over the last year or two. And there is some environmental business from minimising that work to home travel. Even if people just work home 1 day a week or a couple of days a week as part of their flexible work hours, that's saving having to get into work, saves them the stress of travelling, and it saves having to use the fuel to travel. Working from home, depending on the workplace. Now that all the schools are back, it's probably better. When all the kids were home, it was a bit hard work trying to keep the kids entertained as well as do your work. But now the schools are back, you might find that working from home is actually not too bad. There might be less disruptions at home. You can work solidly on a project for a couple of hours and then have a bit of a break and go and hang out the wash and have a cup of tea and relax a bit in your own house before getting back and doing another couple of hours of intense work. So they find when people work from home, often they'll start earlier in the day because they don't have that travel time. Basically, you know, bung the kids off to school and get straight on the computer, or you can come back at night and some employees will work in the evenings because that's their quiet time at home too. HR applications. So this isn't really important on HR, and it's sort of one of those things that when you make changes to your team, you should be careful at how you do that. But here's a couple of wee points, heads up anyway. Clarify the expectations with your team, make sure they understand what it is that you're changing and it's for their benefit. And if they're not happy about it, come and talk to you, keep those communications open. It's all about trying to create that great workplace. So you're not trying to make changes that they don't want, you know, and that's for there's that whole that cookie cutter thing that one size doesn't fit all. You need to be listening to your team. Most places will have a code of conduct or a team guide, so you need to review that, make sure that allows for those flexible work conditions, allows for that working from home or other types of things you might be implementing in your business. Refresh your employment agreements. Also remember your health and safety. So even if someone's working from home, away from the office, you're still responsible for that time they're at work. So you need to cover those things off. And if you need to, get expert advice about your HR implications. Right, diversity, equity and inclusion. Prioritising diversity, equity and inclusion in the workplace means bringing people of different experiences and backgrounds together to create an innovative, high-performing work environment. It's about recognising, respecting, valuing and embracing individual differences, and that in believing so we'll be adding value. We're all different, you know, we've all got different backgrounds, different makeups, different educations, different skills. We all bring different skills to our workplaces. This is a good thing to do to help your business thrive, okay? It's about trying to remove that unconscious bias, to try and stamp out that groupthink, to listen to ideas and to create innovation, okay? By creating a workplace where everyone is engaged in the workplace and that they feel included and that they feel that their values are listened to and their thoughts matter, it will help people to speak up and talk about their ideas. And the more we can engage with more ideas that we can put into the pot, we can innovate from those things and use those things to create new ways of doing things in our workplace that might be creative, innovative, and lead us to be better than a competition. And that'll only work if our employees believe that they can be part of that, right? So we need to encourage everyone to be part of our ideas in our workplace, and that, you know, even the people who are not so forward and wanting to come forward with ideas, I feel that they're included and that we're an open and inclusive workplace that doesn't criticise people for their beliefs, that doesn't criticise people for their way of thinking, and doesn't criticise people for who they are. And that way we'll get a far deeper participation from our employees in our workplace. Mental health and well-being. So life sometimes impacts on work, and work sometimes impacts on life. And therefore, placing some mental health and well-being in the heart of our business will help our employees help us to attract and retain employees. A lot of the initiatives covered today can have a positive impact on a person's mental health, and to help us speak more openly and achieve balance and minimisation causes of our mental health issues. Employees should actively encourage conversation about these issues. We should be, you know, openly talking to our employees about our own, you know, mental health experiences with ourselves or with working with other people. There's a lot of evidence today suggests that people are productive between 3 to 6 hours a day, despite that 8-hour workday. With this in mind, prioritising activities in the work time to support well-being, such as a friendly exercise bunch of activities, regular team social events, and regular training and development opportunities can improve productivity and happiness and positively impact the bottom line. And this is where we come back to that shorter working week on full pay is another great way to help our people achieve balance. Taking off Friday afternoons is a great approach, as many people are really productive on that Friday afternoon anyway. And it gives them time to prioritise balancing activities and personal appointments. Yeah, you see this more and more often where places are working sort of 4-day weeks or 4.5-day weeks, and that extra half a day provides people with time to schedule in those things like dental appointments and medical checks and appointments with the school or other things that otherwise they'd have to come and take time out of their work day anyway. So providing that sort of half-day scheduled time off during a normal Monday to Friday provides an opportunity to do that, which means that during their week they're actually a bit more productive because they're not having to shoot out for those things during the week, during the the core of the week. So yeah, and I'm always in favour of seeing team social events. Always enjoy getting the team out for a good social event. We have a standing 2-monthly team lunch. We have a couple of social events, and we have we try to create a really good team culture, work with a few jokes and a bit of fun along the way. Yeah, whatever works for your workplace and whatever works for your team. And the thing is to put some effort and time into making these things work. All right, burnout. So often it's hard to recognise burnout. It's not like if someone just jumps up and goes, hey, I'm burnt out. It's actually just sort of creeps up in lots of little things that you have to sort of, join the dots together to figure out that someone is sort of getting to that point of nearing a burnout position. It sneaks up on people, and there are things you can do to just relax the workload a bit, get people to take some time out, share the workload across some other people, or maybe it's just a matter of helping someone through an issue to try and stop getting to that tipping point. Burnout does have a bit of a tipping point where once you get over it, it's hard to get back again, or it takes quite a lot of work to get back again, I suppose. So there's a number of things here. People are getting forgetful. I think that also comes with a bit of age. I think maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. Anxiety. If you know your staff well, you should. Everyone gets anxious a wee bit from time to time, but you should notice if someone's getting more anxious over silly things. Then that's what they call amplified anxiety, which is maybe unusual behaviour for someone. No motivation or excessive motivation. Frequent illness. So just keeping an eye on who's at work, who's not at work. If someone's becoming, has typically never been sick, and then all of a sudden they're starting to call in a lot of sick days, that could be an indicator that they're facing a bit of burnout. Easily triggered, so flying off the handle real quick over minor things. If they're not sleeping, they're coming to work tired or exhausted, drinking lots of coffee. Never. You notice they're starting to look a wee bit rough, wee bit, their personal care is not quite up to where they used to be, or they just seem emotionally overwhelmed. So there's a whole lot of factors there to look out for. That could be signs of burnout, and if you can do something to help that person through that that stage that they're in before they really do burn out, it'll be a whole lot easier than once they do reach the end. Technology as an enabler. So technology, adapting technology is seen as a good draw card for new talent. It shows that you want to be running an innovative business, that you're wanting to be pushing ahead of the curve, that you are trying to, your business wants to do lots of great stuff. So technology is a way of enabling that, and it's also a way of attracting people who want to also be part of a team or a group of people that are doing new stuff. technology is also, and especially found over lockdown, there's a lot of technology, a lot of apps out there that can be used to support collaboration, that can help teams working at a distance to work together, and help achieve projects with people located in different places. It gives opportunities for the team to develop new skills and opportunities for you to train your staff or get them upskilled in new skills so that your business and enterprise operates at a more efficient level. It's both useful for both the team members enjoy getting upskilled, and it's also beneficial to our business. All right, great workplace vibe. So how do we create a fun environment? Or why do we create a fun environment? Well, it helps collaboration. It helps create open communication. If we can spend a bit of time socially with our workmates, outside of the business, the business environment, where we're doing some social activities together, we're having a bit of fun, we're doing something that might be pushing all of our boundaries by doing some challenges that we haven't done before, or learning some new skills, playing a new sport, traveling to do something, seeing a show together, even just going out for a dinner and having good conversations around the table about what's going on in people's lives and their families and their sports and hobbies and those things. That communication creates connections between people, creates trust, it creates openness, and it helps people to break down the barriers between the boss and the manager and the staff. They should all be able to openly talk with each other and provide feedback to each other, and this creates feedback loops and ability to just thrash through ideas without it's about building those relationships to allow those things to happen. But general happiness is a good thing to have in the workplace. Having fun together is a great way for people to want to come to work and learn about each other. Measuring team member success. So things are changing out there. They have changed. They've been changed. Nothing's ever the same. Things are always changing. But whereas it used to be maybe quite simple in that your success was dedicated by or dictated by your title and your salary, it's now there's a few more factors involved now as to how people measure their success. And their salary is still a part of it, and their job title is still a small part, but it's now very much a smaller part than it used to be. A measurement of success also takes into things like how much free time someone has, how much time they have to spend with their family, how much time they have to go and travel for themselves, how much time they have to do their own projects and be involved with other community groups or other things of interest to them. Free time is valued greatly by people. Enjoying what you do, enjoying coming to work, being part of a creative business or a business that's going somewhere is enjoyable and part of someone's success. Physical health is a big part, and because we spend so much time at work, physical health is one of those things that has to fit in around everything else, and it's easy, I suppose, to get sucked into just working too much and not thinking about your own physical health. So we now think about our physical health and mental health as well, and we talk a lot more about mental health than we probably did 20 years ago, and it's a good thing, and it's good to share stories. And it's good to know that if anyone ever needs to talk about their mental health, there's opportunities to do that either with someone in their workplace or there's a dedicated support line or something like that set up where people can get support outside the workplace if they're not don't feel comfortable about talking about it inside. All right, so how are we going on time? 36 minutes, that's not too bad. Next steps. Hopefully you've picked up some ideas from today. So the idea is, of course, to do something about that. There's a lot that you can do in this space, and you sometimes just can make some small changes and they can have quite big impacts. So it's make some ideas, list out some small changes, and we're here, we can help you with some of these things if you like too. So I have a worksheet. See that, attracting and retaining talent worksheet, and it starts off with things like, describe your why, describe your workplace flexibility and what opportunities you have to change that. How do you cover off inclusivity in your workplace, staff well-being, use of technology, how you describe your workplace vibe and what opportunities there might be to increase that, and then working out a plan at the back of it as to what you can do to help your workplace to attract talent. So if you want a copy of that, just hit me up with an email. Happy to flick that out to you, free of charge. There's no cost to that. It's just a 2-page bunch of headings to just go through those topics we talked about today, really, help you put in place some plans to make your place a better place to work. Now, if you wanted to do that and then sit down and do like just have a meeting with us about it, you can fill this out, flick it back. I could sit down, or maybe me and one of the other team members here would sit down with you and just go and review that worksheet with you and give you the knowledge and expertise that we have to try and help you with some of those ideas. Sometimes when you're sitting down by yourself, it's really hard to come up with different ideas. And because we've worked with lots of businesses, we've got quite a few ideas floating around inside us that we might be able to help you with. Okay, so that's the first 2 things we can help you with. Third one, business plan. We have a 1-day or half-day business plan workshop. So that's really helping to work out that why and then extracting that out to a business plan. Pretty hard to put a price on it. We say it's a half-day thing. Sometimes there's probably more than a half-day in preparation for it. So sometimes it's a day and a half of our time, and there might be more time writing it up. There might be some time implementing it. So I can't really give you a price for that up front. But if you want to come and have a chat to me about it, that's something we can get our heads around as to what might be involved in there. I'm quite happy to give you an upfront pricing on that. Core values development. So we sort of had a couple of hour workshop on developing those core values. So that was that sort of why bit again, that now I've lost it. But anyways, we talked about it right at the beginning. Now, Simon Schnick, we can do a couple of hours on that, sit down and work out your golden circle, the what, how, the why, how, and the what. And then from there, work out some core values for your business. And again, it's a hard one to put a exact amount of time on it. But yeah, it might be a couple of hours, might be half a day, might be longer. It all depends how much time you guys want to put into it. And then, I'm always up for free coffee. Well, I'm always up to give my clients a free coffee. If you want to have a complimentary meeting or a chat, just get hold of me. You'll find the number on my webpage or Facebook somewhere. Give me a ring, send me an email. Let's go and have a chat about how we might help you with your business. All right, so that's dead on 40 minutes now. Pretty good timing, I think. Any questions? No questions? No? Okay, oh, that's good. Hopefully everyone's got a wee bit out of today. We'll finish her off here. Parting thought. Individuality is freedom lived. John Dos Passaso. Pronunciation's not so great. But anyway, thank you for attending today. It's nice to have a few people tune in and listen to us today, and we'll see you all around. Thank you very much.